All right, let's go back to the Cabinet Lekgotla now, where Minister Kgosientsho Ramokgopa is addressing the media now.
And a lot of our people across the length and breadth of the country are not in a position to afford electricity. And those are challenges on the distribution side, if you like, the downstream interventions. And we know that over a period of time, municipalities have underinvested in the maintenance, replenishment, and protection of the distribution grid. And of course, we are paying the price now, including the areas that are serviced by Eskom. We made the point that the debt levels now, municipalities to Eskom sits at about 78 billion rand. It's an unsustainable situation, so we need to resolve that crisis. And then new forms of sources of energy generation. We made the point that in the long term, we need to ensure that we anchor the base load, and nuclear is an important part of that intervention. So like I said, we are working on the framework for procurement, because we don't want to discredit the process through a procurement process that is not transparent. Of course, we'll do it at the scale and speed that we can afford as a country. So those are the things that I think will be at the center of the conversation now, as we look to find ways of how we can ensure that there's enduring and sustainable economic growth that creates jobs, that introduce some degree of equity in the distribution of the gains of the democratic project. So energy is at the center stage, including electricity, so that we are able to grow the South African economy.
Thank you very much, colleagues. Let me take few questions before we release him. I will start with you. You'll just introduce yourself.
Thank you, Brawili. It's Ziyanda Ngcobo from Newsroom Africa. I just want to find out, you've mentioned the importance of the energy sector in creating economic growth. How do you balance that when you look at a municipal level? You've spoken a lot about infrastructure, but also energy poverty. We're seeing an uproar over what the city of Johannesburg has decided to do. So how do you manage these things? Because obviously you cannot intervene from a national level in the local government sphere. What kind of conversations will you be having?
Well, it's a complex conversation in the distribution space. It's a complex conversation, of course, in the distribution space, because if you look at the constitutional injunction, is that is the exclusive domain of municipalities. Where you see Eskom playing a role is because of legacy issues. They've always been in that space, even before the advent of the current constitution. But also in some instances, municipalities have asked Eskom to come into the space because they don't have the capacity. So on Wednesday, we're having a conversation with Salga, and also my counterpart, Minister Kgosientsho, to find the most enduring solution to this problem. You are absolutely correct. I think it's going to require a degree of collaboration between the Ministry of Energy and Electricity, COGTA, and SALGA, to ensure that we do a number of things. We are able to protect the interest of the consumer. We are able to protect the interest of Eskom, that the debt that is owed, at least a significant part of that should be paid. And then we also want to protect the interest of municipalities, because it's a significant revenue base. So it's important that it doesn't get to be eroded, because they use that to distribute and reallocate whatever they get from the surcharge, the additional if you like, tariff, the amount that they place on the tariff to finance other social infrastructure. So it's a complex space. I'm not about to suggest that it's going to be an easy conversation, but we need to find the solutions as speedily as possible. I'm confident that post that conversation, we should be able to jointly say to the country how best are we going to resolve this crisis going into the future.